Ninjago Dragons Rising started out with a bang, a spectacular mech race where Sora had to face off against the best racers from all the realms in her transforming mech bike racer in the very first episode. And we even got a wonderful set version of that mech. But you can't really have a mech race with only one mech racer, so I wanted to build one of the other mechs from the episode. And there was one that I fell in love with immediately, the Bone Warrior Mech Racer. I mean, just look at that thing, a bulky mech with bone spikes attached to it and cool bone decorations painted onto it. So I started by trying to build this model digitally. My goal was to achieve a good mix of accuracy to the show, while being at the same scale and using similar building techniques to the Sora's transforming mech bike racer set. I additionally designed some custom decals to pull off the cool skeleton themed paint job of the mech racer. And once I was happy with the model, I wanted to test if this build worked physically, so I ordered all the pieces from Bricklink, printed out my decals on sticker paper, and built the model. And there it is, the Bone Warrior Mech Racer. I was quite happy to see how well this translated from digital to physical, because I was able to make it stand quite stably. First of all, here we have a look at the overall Mech Racer. We can turn it to the back, of course, where you can see those big spikes here on top and the extra engine here in the back. We'll start by looking at all of the details of this mech, starting with the cockpit. The cockpit is built to look like it is constructed with different bones. I went with the nougat pieces here to connect these white pieces to recreate the ropes that bind them together in the show. We also have this little one here in the front as an extra decoration. And we can of course open the whole thing up to access the interior. In the mech I used this printed console piece for the controls, and we have this little panel here at the bottom that lets us slide in a minifigure. With a bunch of tan pieces here to represent some padding, so our driver has comfortable seating. Speaking of the driver, since this is a Bone Warrior Mech Racer, we of course have the perfect minifigure. A bone guard, of course, without the lower jaw piece, just like the mech driver in the show. I built the cockpit specifically to fit the big hat of this minifigure, so we can easily just slide in the minifigure and close up the cockpit. Around the cockpit we of course have a bunch of my custom stickers here to recreate that cool paint job from the show. And this very angular shaping overall with this red stripe going through here in the middle. On the back of the torso we can once again see those big bone spikes and this extra engine that's here in the back. The arms of the mech are attached via these longer mixel ball joint pieces, so we have a good amount of posability here in the shoulder. The upper arms have these two bone spikes as decorations, and we also have some white tiles here on the sides. The upper arms connect to the lower arms via these hinge pieces, just like in the Sora's mech set. So you can very easily pose the elbow here, we have some articulation there. We also have these two little spikes here on the lower arm, and we have three individually posable fingers. On top of the hand we of course have a stud shooter, and we can very easily fire out the studs. The feet of the mech were a bit of a challenge, because in the show it of course stands on the wheels like this, but in real life it would of course fall over. That is why we have this little bar here in the back in silver. I actually didn't just make that part up. In the show we do have some bars here in the back of the legs, but the way it works in the show is that they're oriented up like this. And then the mech rolls on the toes like this. But my idea here was that what if we use these as a kickstand that you can flip down, and then it kind of works like a heel the mech can stand on. Here in the back we also have this little thruster part. And here from the side you can see the overall leg build is built around two of these SCCBS limb pieces. So it's kind of like Sora's mech bike racer set, but with two of the limb pieces and they're oriented the other way around. The overall legs have this black armor in the upper part. We have some big bone stickers all over the legs here, and this little guard part around the wheels with another sticker on it. On the side here, close to the joint, I added this little grill piece to replicate the similar design we have in the Sora set. And here you get a better look at how the legs look from the back. With the wheels and those bar pieces as heels, you can actually have the mech roll across the floor if you push it, which is quite funny. But if you don't like the heels, you can use a stand like the one I built here with some transparent pieces to have the mech look like it stands on the wheels just like in the show, and I think that looks quite nice. You can also pull off some quite cool poses with this mech. If you use the heels, you can even like balance out some more extreme poses. You can, for example, get into a stepping pose or just generally give it a more dynamic look. My goal was to build this mech to scale with the Sora's Mech Bike Racer set, which I think worked out great. I really like how they look next to each other. They have a similar scale, they have a similar style. So I'm quite happy with how they look together, and I'm glad that I can finally have my own mech races at home. If you want to build this model yourself, I put everything you need to do so into the description of this video. There's a Google Drive link that has everything you need, including a PDF instruction that shows you how to build a model step by step with a parts list in the back, a printable sticker sheet that lets you print the stickers at home, as well as a Bricklink XML file. That file can generate a wanted list with all the pieces for the model on Bricklink. So you can order them very easily or check which ones you already have and order the ones you don't have. You can click the second link in the description, be sure to be logged into your Bricklink account before, and then you can click on the XML format tab up here. Select New Wanted List and give it a name, for example Bone Warrior Mech or something like that. And then just copy and paste the text from the XML file into this text box, and that lets you generate your own wanted list with all the pieces you need to build this mech. I really hope you enjoyed this model as well as the video showing it off. I hope some people will now have the chance to build their own, since a lot of people were asking me for instruction when I first posted the original digital model of this MOC. If you do end up building your own, I'd love a tag wherever you post it. I always love seeing people recreate my MOCs. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Sokoda. Be sure to subscribe for more fun Ninjago and LEGO content here on Keep the Peace. And see ya!